Okay, good afternoon. John Gordon here at the Weather Service. It's 2:45 on the 8th, and this is the latest on the next winter storm. And this is an interesting one because we have to deal with cold tonight. So let's talk about tonight first. This is a double story. Tonight's all about, will the low clouds clear? If the low clouds clear, I'll use a favorite word, gelid, Gelid. It's going to be cold, cold, cold tonight. So if you see that cold headline that's been put out, the cold weather advisory, which is basically along and north of 64 for the sake of argument. And that's for tonight. If we clear out places like Jasper, you see there for -2, it will be -7, -8, -9. If we stay cloudy, maybe closer to 0. So it's all predicated on the clouds. And we've been trying to figure this out all day long. It's very complicated. The more clearing you get, the colder it will be. And I know there's people without power. And so tonight, that's out for tonight. It's really cold temperatures, high confidence. But as far as how low it gets, will be predicated on the clouds. And the evening shift will look at that and probably put an update out this evening before 11 o'clock. Okay, that's the first thing. Now for the big story, which is the next winter storm. So this thing's out in the southwest U.S. And historically, and I've been doing this very long, systems that come out of Arizona, New Mexico, and these types of systems the computers that we use have a hard time figuring out how quick they move off to the east-northeast, how much they eject out. And it's a little slower. And right now that's going to be moving into a lot of moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico and a strong upper level jet stream and the cold air that's in place. It's still cold. It will remain cold. We're in a very frigid pattern. So we put a winter storm watch up basically south of the parkways for the sake of argument, south of 64. The northern part of this is going to be from Breckenridge and Hardin, Nelson, Washington, Mercer, Jessamine, and over to Madison County and points off to the south and east of that. And that coordinated well with Nashville, Paducah, and Jackson. That's going to be from 4 a.m. Early Friday morning and extending through Saturday morning. That's the watch. There will be no warning issued today. There will not be a warning issued yet. The midshift's going to have to evaluate that, look at Nashville, and the criteria is for 4 inches or more. All right. So you just think to yourself, well, why are we having a conference call in Louisville and Lexington and all this? Because you're right on the edge of 4 inches. There'll be a lot of 3+ inches. This line may move. What will probably happen at some point tomorrow, either 4 a.m. Tonight or tomorrow during the day shift, you're going to see a winter storm warning probably down south, and you'll have a winter weather advisory north of there that will cover the whole area. Okay. This line could move a little bit. It's not that big a deal. The difference between 3 and 4 inches is only an inch. Just remember that. Okay. This is a statewide timing slide, which is very complicated for the forecasters to do because they have 5 offices to coordinate with. But the snow is going to move into Western Kentucky late tomorrow night or past midnight tomorrow, and will impact the 65 corridor in the morning commute. My guess is it will be a slightly delay. I would be surprised that Louisville may be towards the later part of the rush hour because these systems take a long time to eject out. One good thing is the winds are pretty light, 7 to 12 miles per hour, so that's not a big factor. The ratios are a little different than the last one. We'll probably have snow ratios of 12 to 14 to 1. And it will be about a 9 to 12 hour window as it pushes off through the area, going from the southwest through the east-northeast through time. And you see places like Louisville and Elizabethtown and Mumfordsville right around the 7 to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock range. You got Lexington that goes from Fayette, Lexington to Madison to Lancaster to Stanford. They're looking more like 10 to noon. Okay. And then far eastern Kentucky later. All right, confidence, yellow, high. Ending time, you can go from the left to the right, west to east. So let's do the 64 corridor, Louisville down to Bowling Green. We're going to be in the middle of the night, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, pushing off in Lexington by 6 to 8 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning. Okay. Then what's going to happen Saturday is what's happening today. Today, we did not do a great job. We had flurries in, and we got a little overachieving. So when you have a northwestern cyclonic flow, you have flow that comes from the northwest to the southeast with low clouds, and you get these streamers, and you get a little light snow. So the thing about today is the ratios are probably 40-1. It's very, very dry snow. Okay. All right. I think this is a very helpful slide for everyone. So the confidence, it's going to snow. Here we go. You guys like my quotes. 100% chance of snow. Okay. Confidence is medium on the snow amounts. So we feel, and this has been pretty consistently in the data for days now. So if you take counties, let's do the Cumberland Parkway roughly. So if you go basically south of Hartford, Munfordville, Greensburg, Campbellsville, Liberty, and you go points off to the south, that's the places we feel very confident for 4 to 6 inches of snow. And that coordinates well with Nashville. If you don't like this, well, you want to go to Atlanta, they're going to have ice and sleet, and Shreveport and Huntsville, not good. So if you're going to get it, snow is much better than the sleet and ice. All right, we did a little probability graphic. This corresponds well. In all the data, it really shows the greatest probability of getting 4 inches or more, which is our criteria for a winter storm warning. It's down south. So I'll hit some of the counties once again. Ohio, Butler, Logan, Simpson, Warren, Edmondson, the southern part of Grayson, Hart, Barron, Monroe, Metcalf, Greene, Taylor, Adair, Cumberland, Metcalf, Russell, Clinton, and over to Casey County. All right. The best chances of getting 4 inches or more compared to what we have, this is a piece of cake. But, there's a lot of people still without power. And still cold, and now we're going to get snow on top of that. So it's going to cause some disruptions, especially for the initial part of the snow on the 64.5 corridor that's coming in at daybreak on Friday morning. So just another inconvenience, and travel will be complicated in some spots, especially in places that have not been cleared. The back roads is the big problem, back roads. And we always finish with a safety slide. What can you do? I'll hit the highlights. Flashlights and batteries are a good thing. Charging those cell phones. And I just can't emphasize enough on the full tank of gas, the windshield wipers, your lights, those things like that in your car. All right, we'll go back one more time. Let's hit the watch. Watch basically is along and south of the parkways, Elizabethtown to south of Lexington. And Lexington and Louisville, you're right on the edge. Right now, it still looks like around 3-ish inches. Southern part of Fayette, southern part of Louisville might get more than the northern part. It's kind of a different one. Usually, we always say the snow's higher on the north side. This is just one of the ones that's not this way. And for tonight, we have the cold weather advisory out, and that's basically places along the 64 corridor and going northbound. Okay, let's look at questions. Brian and I got our list up here. Let's start with Matt Dennison. I've been trying to get added to the email list. I will let Brian or Mike take care of that one. Matt, they'll do it. Is the -1 for Louisville at 6 a.m. accounted for the wind chill? The winds are going to be very light in the morning. That's the minimum forecast. Just be a couple degrees colder. We don't have strong winds tonight. Barely, just a little above a zephyr. Not a big deal tonight. It's cold, but the winds won't get worse. All right. Scott Gardner, the difference between 3 or 4 inches, 1 inch. Yeah, I know. I always say something funny, Scott. Yeah, who knows what I'm going to say? They're all nervous here. All right, Bryce, what are your guys' thoughts on freezing fog tomorrow? HRR shows an extensive. Bryce, we will comment to you privately offline. I have not looked at that. I'll have Evan. If you go in Slack, Evan Webb will respond to you in just a minute, okay? Kevin Russell, are you seeing anything else coming behind this going to Monday? They have a light system in Sunday night, Monday. I have not looked at it enough. It looked like we had a very light system Sunday night, Monday, and another one, I think, next Thursday. But this is the most significant one. We've had 2 distinct things in the model data for days and days and days. One is the one we just had. One is this one coming in Friday. Okay, who's next? Please add me to the list. We'll do all these added to the list. All right, Bryce, we got you too. All right, that's it, guys. Are we going to have another conference call? Tomorrow's a federal holiday, and unless the forecast looks much different we will not have a conference call tomorrow. If there is a drastic change of some magnitude of the type or whatever, we will. But right now, I'm not planning on this. We wanted to do this. Tomorrow's President Carter's Day, and for the funeral. And I really wanted to hit this thing, especially with all the snow that's already on the ground. So this is going to happen. The amounts, that don't be obsessed with the watch line, because this may vacillate a little bit how we play this. But I feel very confident at some point there'll be a warning down south and there'll be an advisory up in the north. That's it, Bat fans. Have a good day. Thank you very much. And I'm going to have Kevin help me stop this thing. Bye.